It starts like any other morning. Stickman oversleeps, trips over his own shoes, and sprints out the door with a cold toast triangle in his mouth. The sky is ordinary. The city is ordinary. And Stickman is very, very ordinary. Until a glowing meteor the size of a grapefruit decides to disagree. It lands with a polite thump beside him, cracks open like an egg, and releases a tiny spark that zips straight into his chest. There's a flash, a hiccup, and the world goes quiet. Then Stickman sneezes and accidentally launches himself 3 stories into the air. At first, he blames coffee, but coffee doesn't let you stick to walls like a confused gecko. Coffee doesn't let you lift a parked scooter with one hand while you apologize to it. Coffee does not make your cape. Wait, where did the cape come from? Dramatically flutter when there's no wind. Within minutes, Stickman realizes he has superhero powers. Flight is more like chaotic hovering. Strength comes in bursts, and his aim is developing. He tries to punch the air and punches a cloud instead. The cloud is offended and rains on someone else. Word spreads fast. A crowd forms. Someone yells, "Do a trick!" Stickman tries to levitate again, rotates sideways, and discovers he can hover if he holds his breath and thinks about sandwiches. He hovers 5 meters, exhales, and drops onto a fruit stand, breaking exactly 1 banana. The vendor applauds. A child hands him a crayon drawing of Stickman punching a comet. An influencer takes 10 photos and suggests brand deals. Stickman smiles, waves, and quietly wonders if heroes have tutorials. Every hero needs a test. The test arrives as a runaway tram, brakes screaming, sparks skittering along the tracks. People scatter. Stickman inhales, aims for calm, and launches. He overshoots, ricochets off a billboard, and lands in front of the tram backward. He places both hands on the bumper and pushes. The tram slows, metal whining, his feet carving 2 neat grooves in the street. He grits his teeth. His cape finally decides to help by looking cinematic. The tram shrieks to a stop 1 inch from a very surprised pigeon. The city cheers. The pigeon files a complaint. Suddenly, being ordinary is no longer on the menu. Reporters want interviews. Scientists want measurements. A duo of mysterious officials want to talk about responsible usage of extraordinary abilities. Stickman wants a sandwich and a nap. He flies home, drifts home, and tries to test limits. He lifts his couch with 1 finger and discovers a fossilized snack. He whispers up, and the window opens. He whispers down, and the lights dim. He whispers lasers, and nothing happens, which is probably for the best. Night falls, and he goes patrolling. Superheroes patrol. He read that somewhere. The city is different from above, small, glittering, fragile. He hears distant sirens, a meow that sounds like an opera singer, and a chorus of clinking dishes. He saves a cat from a tree by lifting the whole tree, then carefully putting it back. He guides a lost tourist by drawing a map in the air, with sparkly trails that vanish after 10 seconds. He stops a midnight donut heist by tripping over a mop and accidentally locking the thieves in the supply closet. Heroism is messy, but it sort of works. Then comes the first real villain. Not a supervillain, just a very determined inventor with an experimental vacuum drone designed to optimize public space usage, which apparently means steal hats. The drone zooms through the plaza, devouring hats with industrial enthusiasm. People scream, pigeons approve. Stickman confronts it with his best heroic stance, which is mostly knees and hope. The drone blasts him with a gust. He tumbles, corrects, tumbles again, then finds his rhythm. He dodges left, right, up, and very slightly diagonal. He reaches the drone, grabs its nozzle, and wrestles. The machine slurps at his cape, which acts like a stubborn flag. Stickman plants his feet, thinks about sandwiches, and pulls. With a squeal, the drone coughs up 24 hats and a confused pretzel. Victory! The crowd erupts. Someone crowns him with a glittery top hat. He bows. The hat slips over his eyes, and he bows again to get it back. By morning, the city has opinions. Half of it loves the new hero. The other half wonders about property damage, cloud rights, and fruit stand insurance. Stickman drinks water, makes a checklist, and decides to train. If he's going to be a hero, he should be a careful one. He practices hovering in straight lines, lifting things quietly and landing without the crash and apologize technique. He learns that his strength is steadier when he breathes slowly. His flight stabilizes when he aims his thoughts like arrows. And his courage is constant when he remembers the tram and the pigeon. On day 3, he faces something he can't punch, a citywide blackout. Elevators stop, streetlights wink out, and the night grows thick and unfamiliar. Panic rises like fog. Stickman can't power the grid, but he can carry light. He flies from building to building, with bundles of glow sticks and portable lanterns, turning darkness into constellations. He guides emergency crews to stuck elevators, carries medicine across gridlock streets, and paints luminous arrows in the sky to direct people to shelters. He finds an elderly pair on the 17th floor, brings them tea and blankets, and tells a joke so gentle it lands like a pillow. By the time power returns, the city feels smaller, in the good way, like a room where everyone knows each other's names. Of course, powers come with a price. The meteor spark inside him hums louder when he overdoes it. After the blackout, he tries to lift a bus and manages only a polite nudge. He realizes he can't be everywhere, can't fix everything, can't outrun fatigue. He lands on a rooftop and looks at the sleeping city. Down there are thousands of ordinary heroes, nurses, drivers, cooks, neighbors, saving the day without capes or sandwiches. He smiles and takes off again, slower now, steadier, listening. Weeks pass. The hat thief reforms into a respectable hat. Return specialist. The fruit vendor names a banana after him. The pigeon forgives. Stickman learns to ask for help, to plan before leaping, and to leave notes when he borrows construction cones for important hero reasons. He discovers his favorite power is not flight or strength, but the way fear shrinks when someone shows up and says, "I'm here." Some nights he doesn't save anyone. He just sits with a worried shopkeeper until the worry gets bored and goes home. One evening, the meteor inventor returns, not as a villain, but as a collaborator. Together they build a tiny, polite device that lets Stickman measure his limits and recharge with a nap, a blanket, and exactly 2 cookies. They call it the Responsible Hero Box. It beeps when he forgets to rest and purrs when he remembers. The city approves, the pigeon nods. And so, the legend grows, not with explosions, but with small, repeatable miracles. A tram that stops on time, a donut shop that stays open late because the night shift feels safe, a child who draws a new picture of Stickman, not punching a comet, but holding the comet's hand and showing it the way home. If you ask him how it feels to be a superhero, he'll shrug and say, "Mostly it feels like learning to land." Then he'll hover 3 centimeters above the ground and grin, because today he did it without breaking a single banana. Maybe the meteor spark chose him, or maybe anyone could have learned to listen to their own brave hum. Either way, the city sleeps easier now, and the sky is a little less ordinary. Somewhere between cloud and rooftop, a simple figure with a fluttering cape traces gentle circles in the air. Not because he's flawless, but because he's trying. And that, it turns out, is the most superpower of all.